Welcome to Pokemon Masters Council. I'm your host, Gym Leader Justin. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Zero. What's up, buddy? How you been?
What is going on, friends? We're talking about our first Ruinous Pokemon today.
Yeah, dude. How to use guide, ChienPao.
All right, guys, before we dive into it, we just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who has been subscribing to the channel lately. It means so much to us. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, tell us what you think about ChienPao.
Yeah, dude, we really appreciate everybody on this climb. Smash those buttons. Without further ado, Zero, first Ruinous Pokemon. We have ChienPao. What do you think about this cat weasel thing?
Honestly, I gotta give it a 4 or a 5, bro.
I think I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay, all right.
A little bit above average for me. I do like that they're trying. I do like that they went with this like saber cat kind of thing, but it's also like that long weasel type body with the.
You know what I do like about the Pokemon? It's actually big. It's huge, but you can't tell on Showdown, because on Showdown it looks like this tiny little kitty.
Yeah, no, it's
weasel thing.
Its height is 6'3".
It's huge, which
it weighs 335 pounds. It's a giant saber-toothed tiger weasel.
Yeah, it's nice to have a legendary that's like actually pretty big.
Yeah, I dig it. So Zero, we're gonna go over as usual to our trusty Pokemon DB. Get the database, get the picture, get all the stats. What do we got going on here? So this guy is Dark and Ice type. We have Sword of Ruin.
Yeah, so let's start. Top down, Dark Ice. Obviously, great stab combination. I feel like we say that a lot on the channel, but Weavile has been a great Pokemon for a long time, and this is kind of just Super Weavile, right?
Yeah, this is just the advanced version. Weak on the defenses, both in statistics and in the typing itself. There's just weak to everything.
Yes.
But yeah, really, really good dual stab offensively. Very powerful.
Yeah, and then Sword of Ruin. So this is what we're here for, Sword of Ruin. This ability is a field-wide ability that cuts the defense of every Pokemon on the field except ChienPao.
Except himself.
Yeah, other ChienPao are actually immune to Sword of Ruin, so ChienPaos cannot lower each other's defense. This is a 25% defense reduction field-wide outside of anything named ChienPao. So incredibly strong ability, Justin.
Very, very, very strong. So this will not proc Defiant like Intimidate will. It's just a passive when he exists on the field. He does more damage, or physical things do more damage. Very, very powerful. So when you look at its stat Zero, 80 HP, 80 defense, 65 spec D. This dude is not a tank. He's pretty fragile, especially with that typing. This dude is squishy.
Yeah, there's a spoiler alert for how to use guides. There is no secret tech here for this Pokemon. We are just going to be running max speed and max attack, and then just kind of swapping the natures as we see fit. There is no real defensive capability for this Pokemon at all. We're running all speed, all offense, all the time.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Because when you look there, Zero, 135 speed. That's Fluttermane, baby. That's the bar in this meta.
Yeah, so fast. We're getting to a point where it's like anything that's under 100, we're starting to kind of be like, okay, do you have the bulk to trade? Because this game's kind of fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot faster than 8th Gen was.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like 90 was the bar for Gen 8, and now all of a sudden 100 feels 100. Like... Yeah.
And then 120 attack, really, really strong. Unfortunately, we are weak to fire. We're weak to fighting, times 4. We're weak to bug. We're weak to rock. We're weak to steel, and we're weak to fairy. That's a lot of very prevalent hitters in the meta, Zero.
Yeah, that's that's pretty much like all of the strongest,
except for these three right here.
Yeah,
and then ground. You know what I mean? Like.
Right, yeah. So not the greatest defensive typing at all.
No, but offensively, we're gonna hit a lot of stuff super effective. That's what's really strong here. So, you ready to get into these sets and break down the old Cat Weasel?
Let's do it, buddy. What's our first set?
I think the most popular way to use this Pokemon is going to be in VGC to be able to utilize that ability, Sword of Ruin, because it's not just him that benefits from it, his ally will as well. And when you look at usage stats, you'll see how good he is in VGC.
Yeah.
He's been in the top 5 or 6 since the beginning of Regulation C stats have been tracked.
Yes. Justin, you're talking about how this Pokemon, the ability is so strong. We'll get into the moves here. Let's go through the set, and then we'll talk about why this Pokemon is important for your game.
Yep.
And what's up with some of these moves. So let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go top down, buddy. What
So
do we got?
this is a little bit of a PMC hot tech here.
Yes.
Because Zero, what does this give you? When you have Sword of Ruin on the field at any point in time, what does it offer your team?
It just offers higher offense for your team going into the other team. So, Extreme Speed Dragonite is a really popular partner for this Pokemon. And that additional damage is because ChienPao is here and alive and healthy. And this set kind of leans into more of a longevity kind of role for ChienPao.
Yeah, with the option here to run the substitute. So what we have here, we're not investing in our HP because we're running the substitute and we want to be able to get those max 4 substitutes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
Because it always cuts your health by a quarter.
Yep.
And math, right?
Yes,
and then
math.
we're running sub and protect with leftovers. So this is about longevity with this set. This is not about the cat necessarily going in there and shredding the opponent's team. He's going to hit hard with Ice Spinner.
Mm-hmm.
You can run Crash, but Ice Spinner is more popular in VGC right now.
Yeah, I think Ice Spinner makes more sense. If you want more damage and potential flinch hacks, which is, go for it, then
But
you've got
also
Ice
miss.
Crash. But you could also miss, absolutely.
Yeah. And then it's either Crunch or Sucker Punch. I think it's dealer's choice.
Yep, absolutely.
For me, I'd probably go Ice Spinner Crunch right now. And then just go Jolly, rely on our super fast ultrasonic speed, and go Sub Protect. And we just stall out and we basically annoy the opponent. We never leave. And our team is stacked with 2, 3, maybe even 4 out of 6 Pokemon that can utilize this ability. So things like Dragonite, things like EQ spam Ground Garchomp, or Mirror Herb Moon. That's been a thing before. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things you could bring in, like Annihilate. The list goes on, right, buddy?
Like Baxcalibur, Scizor, Mimikyu, King Gambit, so many Pokemon that could Palafin, so many Pokemon that would love some additional damage.
Yeah, an
from
extra
this ability.
25% armor pen basically is what we're talking about. So that's what this set is for. There's a couple other ways you can run it. Obviously, if you don't want to run the substitute, you can just go all out and run like the Clear Amulet or something and just have 3 attacks and protect. That's still an option, and we'll get into that later. But for this set in particular, for the lefties type stuff, or Clear Amulet, you can still run that and stop you from being have your stats drop with Intimidate, and then you have Terra Fire to stop you from being burned. Or you could potentially do Terra Ghost, stop you from taking those ×4 close combats.
Or Fake Outs.
Stops you from taking Fake Outs. Good call, buddy. So a lot of good things there from either Terra Fire or Terra Ghost for this set. Really strong defensive options. I think I like Fire the most. Turns your weakness into resistances for both Fire,
Bug,
Fairy, and then it turns your ×4 weakness into a neutrality with fighting, which doesn't necessarily matter too much because we're probably going to be hitting a substitute, but it is, it might matter. Pretty straightforward set. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I think the last thing to really cover is that obviously Substitute keeps you from taking things like Spore, and Thunder Waves, things like that. It protects you from status fast. Even further. Right. You're subbing in front of everything, and anything with Prankster can't Thunder Wave you anyway. So
and
really
you can't
strong
taunt me while I'm still Dark type.
Right. Exactly.
So, after this, let's move on to the sort of set that works for both singles and double zero.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Focus, Sash, ChienPao here. I think this is going to be a really popular item, especially in 3v3 and singles formats.
I love it in VGC myself also. I will say I love Focus Sash and Protect because that's just another version of that longevity. So I will say I do like it for VGC as well, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this set, I think you're always running Jolly, 252, speed and attack. Yep. You're just, like we said, going with that speed. Similar Terras, but Dark, Fire, Ghost. We got Dark on here because I think you could definitely double dip and get that really strong crunch or sucker punch should you go that way. I don't think Ice is necessarily as strong. So the way we've got this one laid out is it's kind of like most of your best 3v3 options are on the left, and a lot of your good VGC options are on the right, except for the stabs. They're Ice Stab. So we got Ice Spinner / Icicle Crash, and then Crunch, Sucker Punch, and Sacred Sword. I think that is the best set for threes right now. Ice Shard is really strong against things like Dragapult, but you've got Sucker Punch for that.
Yeah, so it just depends on your choice of priority, right?
Right.
And you probably don't need to protect too much in singles, so you just 4 attacks protect, and you just hit hard, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got a special tech here on the VGC side that we actually featured, and that's Haze.
Yeah, so you can run the Crash or Spinner. Spinner is better in VGC. Haze is really good. There's a lot of Pokemon in VGC right now that have a lot of stat buffing stuff, and Haze gets rid of that, like Dondozo as one example. Either Sucker Punch or Ice Shard again, and then like I said, Protect and Sash. I love that for VGC, so that'd be my preferred option. If you don't want or need the priority moves, you could then tech in Sacred Sword into that slot, so you can kind of move stuff around wherever you want. Sacred Sword's a great option regardless, because it's good against all other Ruin Pokemon. So it's kind of pick and choose, but I definitely recommend having Protect 3 attacks. So maybe Sacred Sword in place of like Haze right there, or Sacred Sword in place of Ice Shard. Dealer's choice.
Yeah, I think in threes though, you never leave home without Sacred Sword. I really truly think that Crash, Crunch, Sucker Punch, and Sacred Sword. I really truly think that that's like the best coverage for the Pokemon right now.
Definitely, and he hits so hard, right? Like we said, he is super Weavile. And then after that, we have the kind of the set. I don't know how much we're going to see this, but I do think it's worth talking about, which is the choice set.
Yeah, absolutely.
Particularly choice band.
Yes. This is the go melt your opponent. You know what I mean? Just
this is, I think, more of a single special, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely think so, because you don't want to necessarily throw away your ChienPao in doubles because that field wide effect is so valuable. In singles, he's more of a just clean house, maybe get some flinches with Icicle Crash, Sucker Punch some things in the late game.
Yep.
That's kind of more its role. And so we're kind of really leaning into that. You can run Jolly or Adamant. You could run Adamant because it's got 2 really strong priority options.
And he's very fast already.
Right. Like, you're still outspeeding so much stuff, even if you go Adamant.
Yep, and then this one is definitely, if you want to, you can go with any of the aforementioned, Fire, Ghost, or Fairy Terras for like those defensive options, but this is the set where it really allows you to open up your double dip, as we've coined the phrase on the channel, isn't it, Zero? Where if you want to go dark and have that double dip stab plus Terra, dark Sucker Punch or Crunch, or Ice plus Terra, stab Ice plus Terra Ice, priority Ice Shard.
Yeah. Which one do you like better? You like Dark or Ice better for this mon?
It depends. If we're going singles, I'd probably go Dark.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we're going VGC, I'd go Ice.
Interesting.
Because I want to. In VGC, my main priority, this is a personal thing. I'm not saying I'm correct here. But in VGC, for my number one priority when I'm thinking about Terras for any 4 of the Ruin Pokemon is to get rid of that Dark typing. Because that Dark typing is what is like the main target that I noticed that people, when they generically plan for just any ruined Pokemon, not one in particular, they plan for the dark side. Because that's the one thing that they have in common. So, specifically, the fighting type attacks.
The Flutter Mane at like 60% usage.
And then the exactly. And then the Fairy type attacks. Those, there is Bug, but it's not as prevalent. But especially the fighting and the Fairy, I'm trying to drop that dark type to get rid of those in VGC. Because there are times, without a sash, where ChienPao, without any investment, will still live hits if it's not super effective.
Right, because he's got that 80-80 for HP and
80
defense.
HP is not bad base. He's almost kind of not squishy on the HP side. So, like, he won't live him well, but he'll buy you one extra turn sometimes.
Yeah.
So, I think it's worthwhile.
Absolutely.
That's my call. So, Dark for singles and Ice for VGC if you're going for that double dip. Otherwise, special shout out, Zero. Go for that triple stab and go fighting for Sacred Sword.
Ooh, that would be nasty.
So yeah, but for single set, I think Dark is really great here because, like you said, Sucker Punch is, I think, an auto include. I would, that first line right there: Ice Spinner, Crunch, Sucker Punch, and Ice Shard. You don't need, or not Ice Shard, Sacred Sword. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You don't need the Ice Shard as much as the Sucker Punch, I think, in singles.
I agree, because most of the things that you want to Ice Shard, you're already faster than, like outside of Dragon Pult, but you got Sucker Punch for that, so it's like
correct.
You're already faster than Garchomp,
and you could potentially run a double priority here, where you run Sucker Punch and Ice Shard and get rid of Crunch. Yeah, but that's a little bit more risky. Just understand that going into the set that it's not as assured as the other version, but it is an option to have double priority, double stab.
100%.
All right, Zero, as usual, we want to close this off by going with some Pikalytics, buddy. All right, Zero, so as usual, we'll close this off by going to the old Pikalytics.
All right, let's do it.
So, what if I told you this kitty cat was number 2 in the meta, bro?
You know what? Honestly, I would definitely believe you because it's such a good Pokemon.
So, we are on Pikalytics, VGC 2023 Regulation C, Switch, ranked number 2, right behind Fluttermane. And then right there, number 3 is one of your top 3 favorites, buddy, in the Dragonite, his favorite partner.
Yeah, his little buddy right there.
So again, lots of Jolly, 23 or 83% Jolly, mostly Jolly. Focus Ash, 79%. See, buddy, I told you. We love that in VGC just as much as singles. That's a great one. Actually, surprisingly enough, a Life Orb is pretty decently used too.
Yeah, but there's your clear amulet there, and then there's the choice band. 1% for choice band, but
look at this. The most used type is Ghost.
Yeah, so get rid of the fighting.
Yep, like we told about, get rid of that ×4 fighting, make it immunity. You just live for another turn, that longevity. And
it's
Ice Spinner,
such a good type.
Yep. Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch, Sacred Sword, Protect, and then below that, Haze, Throat Chop, Crash, Shard, Crunch, Psychic Fangs, lots of good moves there. Love this boy. Very, very strong. He unlocks the D-Knight. He unlocks Arcanine. He unlocks Hands, Palafin, Annihilate, Great Tusk, Mouse Hold, Talonflame, Gyarados, Dondozo, Excalibur. Do we need to keep going, Zero?
Yes, there's so many disgusting offensive Pokemon here that he just kind of enables even more. Like, as if they weren't a problem before. You know what I mean? Like, King Gambit sitting next to this dude, like, forget about it.
Well said. Well said. As usual on the PMC, we thank everybody for watching all the way till the end. If you have made it this far and you have not yet hit that big red button down below, smash that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up if you enjoy ChienPao, the Weasel Cat, and hit that bell button to stay notified every time we put up another How to Use guide here on the console. Ready to get out of here and play some Game Zero?
Yep, I am. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for sticking around till the end. We can't wait for the next one.
Until next time, I've been Gym Leader Justin.
And I'm Zero.
Council's adjourned.